There's always, whenever, this is the reason why I don't like groups like that. It's because even with feminism, even if you talk about feminism, red pill, you talk about religion, there's always a group of people that take it too far. Mm-hmm. It's like there's Muslim people and then there's ISIS.
Right.
There's Christian people and then there are the Duggars.
What we noticed is that when you pull back a couple of layers, you see it. And what it stems from is hurt.
Yeah.
Underneath anger is hurt. Underneath hurt is love. Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content. Okay, so today we are discussing the red pill thing.
You've been warned, alright? Let's move forward amicably.
Get ready for the DMs. Whenever we talk about this red pill thing, I feel
people get real sensitive.
Yeah, people get kind of a little sensitive about this. So we're going to come at it from a little bit of a different angle. So everybody, calm down. So we've gotten asked about this red pill thing before and our thoughts on it from various people, and I mean, we didn't really comment much on it, only because we didn't know much about it. This kind of goes back to what we say a lot, is that we didn't know about all these different groups of people and the subgroups within the groups. So we didn't know about all of that, and so we didn't know much about it. So we did kind of like school ourselves on it a little bit, and to see what this is all about. So the things when you don't know something about something, like I always feel like a lot of people just like to react immediately. And what Kara and I, if you guys have watched this for a while, know what we like to do is we like to get information, listen to the information, process that information, and then respond or react to it. Yeah. So what's happened is that earlier on in our YouTube journey, we had gotten bombarded with comments from this group, and we had no clue who these people were. It's just we had like 3 videos up or something, and it was like this influx of like men just like pretty much kind of bashing us. We didn't understand it because we weren't like YouTube people like that, so we didn't really know. But I kept seeing the MGTOW. Yeah. And so I was like, what? I don't understand it, right? So they were saying lots of things about us. So yeah, what we did was reach out to these people. So when I found out that it met men going their own way, the MGTOW or MGTOW is how they pronounce it. But when I heard about this, I was like, okay, men going their own way, and it was a little confusing for us because we were like, we're women. If you're going your own way, then why are you coming our way? Right. I didn't get that. Right. We're like, well, I don't understand. We're not saying you shouldn't go your own way. We didn't understand why you're still coming to women if you're going your own way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the title of the movement is contradicted to what the behavior was.
What we were saying.
Right. Now, I will say this, that a lot of people do not want to talk to women. A lot of these men do not believe that women's opinions or thoughts or anything means anything into this world. So this is kind of like the premise of how they feel. So many of them don't talk to us. A lot of the MGTOW men are very aggressive and demeaning, kind of like that's kind of like their thing. They want to be like demeaning and aggressive towards women. And then this whole red pill thing has been going on for many years. It just took wave out of nowhere, like the past couple of years, 3 or 4 years. And so we started seeing this red pill, RP, on our comments. I'm like, what is this? This is another new one. So I decided to like contact the people who are commenting. So I did, and I got a lot of no's. Didn't want to talk. I'm like, but you're commenting on our thing, so if Kara and I, if you guys know, we're very level-headed people. We listen to people, you know what I mean? Even if we don't agree with them, we do listen to people's movements and stuff like that. So, and then I got 2 guys that actually were willing to talk to us. So thank you to those 2 people, you know what I mean, that were able to at least say something. I know you guys don't like to talk to women like that, so I get it. But yeah, we were able to talk to 2 people, and I asked them, I was like, well, what is the whole point of this red pill thing? What is the whole point? And they explained some things to me, and it's my understanding, it's obvious that the red pill is from the Matrix. It's kind of like a play off the Matrix. The blue pill means that you stay in this kind of like, I guess, dream world, or not real world.
It's like the facade that we all see.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So then if you take the red pill, that means that you're seeing the world for what it really is.
Got it. Okay, so you
Which I actually agree with that philosophy, but I agree with it on a political level.
Yeah, not on
On politics, I believe because I believe the Matrix was mostly a political
I do too.
sort of thing, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah. No,
if you knew how we vote, y'all would see that we don't vote like the normal black women in this country.
Yeah. So these men, when I asked them a couple of questions, I was like, okay, so what are your feelings on women? I took a couple notes because I want to make sure I get it right. I asked them what they think of women, and the answers were: women are manipulative, attention seeking, and we are inconsistent. I said, okay, that was that part of it. And then I said, the philosophy with Red Pill, what is the philosophy with it? Because why did you go so far? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so one of the guys says that they feel that, or Red Pill people feel that women have it better than men. They feel they are socially disenfranchised. They are anti-feminism. They mostly don't like marriage or any kind of like that kind of like bond, I guess legal bond. Mm-hmm. And then they feel like society is anti-male, and that they are not falling for the okie doke anymore with women, I guess, like taking their money or like using them and stuff like that. So I get really weird with groups.
See, my thing about groups is I don't subscribe to groups.
Right. Period.
I'm not a religious person, so I don't believe in organized religion. I don't believe in the two-party system. I think it has screwed most of people in America. I don't really like fraternities and sororities. I am not a part of any type of group because I think that what happens and the same thing with Red Pill, feminism, MGTOW, all that stuff is just people trying to fit in somewhere and trying to be heard. I get that, but I think that people lose their individualism trying to subscribe to a group where everybody thinks the same. This is the reason why I don't really get into religion. It's because people all thinking the same is creepy.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with, like I said, it's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with any type of like little group. There's always something that happens to the individual when they abandon their self to fit into an ideology. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I think that alpha males are men who are their own man.
Right.
And that means that you have to stand alone. You have to figure out who you are. You don't follow people.
Yeah.
And so when men start to follow, this is how I feel about feminism, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that feminism is the exact same way. And when they say anti-man, they're right. This country is anti-man. You know what I mean? Feminism came in, and we were just watching Coming to America the other day, and we were cringing.
The second one,
the
new one. Yeah.
And here we go with they had to make him have 3 daughters, and they all have to fight like men, and it's just cringy.
Yeah.
Because it's forced.
So if you guys, I agree with you on that.
You're saying it's a forced sort of, and then this is why I feel about feminism in general. Yeah. It's always forced. Even like with Kamala Harris, it's like, okay, fine, there's a woman as a vice president, but now we have to call her the K-hive.
It's like,
and you know what I mean? We gotta make it a thing. You know what I mean? And then it becomes like a thing that could be a proud moment into a thing that's just pushed to sort of put men down.
Right.
And I don't like that. It's the same thing I feel about this sort of Red Pill thing. It's this sort of thing where men band together and eventually it's going to implode. Just like it always does. Feminism is going to implode. Because when you're not being yourself, when you're not thinking for yourself, it all starts to fall apart.
So if you're like wondering, we're not, okay, so in the general sense of the term, we are not feminist.
At all.
Kara and I are not feminists. Now, that always sits weird with women that watch us or, even know us on a personal level because, you're a woman, you're supposed to be a feminist, you're supposed to be this women's lib and all. But I think that what feminism, like Kara's saying, what it's done is put men in like this weird beta role. And we subscribed to it. And we were gung-ho about it and we were excited about it. What we didn't think about was that we still need men and men still need women. We still need each other. And so it does. It's got these groups, when you formulate these groups, the women lib, the feminism, the MGTOW, the red pill, the whatever pill, whatever it is, I think that you lose your individuality. So when I was talking to these men, a couple of men about this whole red pill, they're red pill men, I was like, well, so what I noticed with them is that when you pull back a couple of, and when we noticed is that when you pull back a couple of layers, you see it. And what it stems from is hurt.
Yeah.
So they're angry. Underneath anger is hurt. Underneath hurt is love. When talking to them, I'm like, okay, so most of them are. I think most of them are divorced, or have been don't have any like game with women. They don't know how to approach women and stuff. I try to be as not judgmental as possible with this, because I do understand what hurt looks like, and I also understand that men, or both of us understand that men do not like to talk about things on this level, particularly with women, because it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that is that can be looked at as weak or simp. Oh Lord. It can be,
but even with the simp thing, we found out through just talking about that last week is how many men are off on that.
They are
what I mean?
all.
Like you would think it's a certain ideology, everybody would kind of understand it, but the truth is that even in our comments, men were completely off. They weren't even on the same page with that, but even that concept. It was sort of there was some men were just mean to women. That just being mean to women is if you're nice to a woman, then you're just you're a simp, or if you're just being a gentleman, you're considered a simp. And then some guys are like, no, that's not it. You know what I mean? So they were confused, even in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I mean by things get. There's always whenever this is the reason why I don't like groups like that. It's because even with feminism, even if you talk about feminism, red pill, you talk about religion, there's always a group of people that take it too far, where then it becomes unrecognizable. You just sound angry. Yeah. You don't sound like anyone wants to be around anyway.
Because we talked to feminists before too, and I would say the same thing with feminists. Yeah. Feminists have this way of being where they've adopted this masculine behavior, and Kara and I are inherently just feminine women, so we operate just out of femininity, and we feel like we've told feminists before that your power is in your femininity. It's not to adopt this, masculinity, and then it's you're losing your power, and you think you're gaining it with being masculine, but you're not. You're losing it with being masculine. You're actually gain power as a woman with being feminine. So I'm like, you're taking it to the extreme. And so talking to the red pill men, or just this whole red pill situation, it's extreme. Both of these groups are very extreme.
But let me tell you, a lot of the women are full of crap too, because they want men.
Right.
And then they don't understand that once you act like a guy and you repulse men by acting like that, then you find yourself alone with these sort of ideologies. You know what I mean? It's just it's like I was saying, it's like there's Muslim people and then there's ISIS.
Right.
There's Christian people and then there are the Duggars. You see what I'm saying? There are always these group of people that take something, because there are red pill men that are completely level. Yeah. They're on the level. I get that. But there's always this group of people that then take it too far, and they take the whole group and they make it look like you're completely nuts. Right. Like you're just angry men who are just like feminists, angry women who just don't know where to put their anger. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part of all of this, is that mostly it's just hurt people.
That's all it is.
It's just hurt people who got their feelings hurt.
Not wanting to say that.
There are, like you were saying, the guy said that, what did you say, the reasons? Okay, the women have it better than men. And see, the thing is like, there are things that men can do that women aren't. Yes. Like, men can sleep around. And no one's ever going to call you a hoe. No one's ever going to call you a slut. We just did a thing on Lori Harvey, and every man was quick to jump on her, calling her a slut. But why? Why? I mean, if you know why? Because she's a woman. And when women sleep around, it's considered gross to men. But when men do, it's fine. See how I'm saying how there are benefits. The social world benefits you. We all have. There are highlights to being a man, and there are highlights to being a woman. When we get, why do you think women want to be feminists? Right, it's because they think men have something that we don't. They think you guys have something that they're not going to be able to ever have. Yeah. They think they get paid less. They think that they're not allowed to be sexually expressive. That's why you have people like Cardi B. They're sexually expressive. They think that you guys have the patriarchy destroyed women. That's what they truly believe. That's the reason why every little thing a woman does, good or bad, they just hype it up. Yeah. And they blow it up to make it bigger than it really is, because they're just sticking their finger in the eye of any man who tries to be chauvinistic. Or any man who thinks, you know what I mean?
When women get, there's another example, is that when women get older, we're not looked at as attractive as much. When men get older, they're looked as distinguished, and you know what I mean. Like it's a whole different level. So there are great things about being a woman, and there are great things about being a man.
Sometimes there are things that are just unfair. I mean, men and women can both be parents, but women are going to take the most of the pain because we have to get back in shape. We have to go through 9 months of pregnancy. Then we have to go through the birth. And then we have to go breastfeed. We have to do all that. And then we have to worry about if we can go back to work after that. But men still get to be parents, and they get to have the orgasm to have the child. And then
the fun parts.
Really the fun part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
so
see how unfair that sounds? But the truth is it's not unfair.
It's just because
it's part of nature.
It's part of nature. And see, that's another part we talk a lot about nature of the nature of a man and the nature of a woman. And when I was talking to these men, I was like, women by nature, there are things you're not going to be able to not even argue, because by nature it's okay. Like we did a video on because someone had asked us why do men why are looks so important to men? Should they just care about your personality? And we said on that video, no. And I know that sounds terrible to you, but no. You know why? Because that is in their nature. So they should not be chastised because they doing something natural. Right. And I feel like with women too, like with men thinking about women, it's like there are natural parts about us that it is just what it is. There are things about being a woman that you would not want to go through. Like Kara just named a lot of them.
A lot of people feel like they can corner the market on sympathy.
Yeah, you can't.
Like men don't hurt women a lot.
Yeah.
And I can tell you by experience that's just not true. Men do hurt women. And for you to not take it and acknowledge that is just very arrogant. Of any man to sit back and pretend like men don't ever hurt women.
Yeah.
On purpose. I'm not talking about on accident. I'm talking about on purpose. Because that's absolutely false if you walk around thinking that. You know? And I say the same thing to women who want to walk around and men have done this like women don't hurt men.
Right.
Of course.
All men are dogs.
I have hurt men and I've actually been hurt. You know what I mean? So that's what to me, I just don't understand why people can't just understand that we all do go through stuff. Right. It's just, it's weak. I hate to sound like that, but it is just weak if you can't get back up and stand and wipe your tears off, or hold your back straight and think, look, this was one person, or this was another person, or maybe I'm gonna get them this time, or I need to work harder on myself.
But one of the men we talked to, he was divorced. He had a horrible divorce. Okay, so his wife is trying to get everything, and I was like, okay, so that's not good. You know what I mean? Everything should be diplomatic, and in a perfect world we would part ways the right way, but that didn't happen, right? So, and he's like, this is just the most horrible thing that I'm going through, and and she's a bitch for being this way, and I'm like, okay, she is, if that's the case, she is. So my question to him was, why do all women have to pay for that? I'm like, well, outside of thinking about this red pill thing, I'm saying individually speaking, just as yourself as a man, can you see that maybe she's bad? And there may be is it possible out there that there's some good women? Like, so you can't really just glob every woman, generalize every woman to one group, and women can't do it either. And what I'm seeing right now is that we are doing just that. Is that you're not wanting to really peel away the layers of what's really wrong with you. I don't like schooling men at all. But because the only reason why I was even talking to him is because they talked to us. I would have never said anything had they never bothered us, right? Or contacted us or wrote stuff, I was like, well, let's just talk. And a lot of them scattered. They don't want to talk. These two people did. So I'm like, okay, well, there has to be a time where you have to make a personal decision for yourself, not based off of the red pill community. There has to be a time where you're like, okay, my divorce sucks. I picked the wrong woman. I messed that up. All right. So I'm going to take time out for myself. And look, when they say men going your own way, I'm thinking you probably should. When you get done with a bad relationship, I'm not even mad at you. You should go your own way for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, what do you call it? Wick towel? Wig toe. There's women going there. Because,
Yeah.
you know, I did that. I didn't date men for 10 years. And it helped me.
I didn't go
Because
back
I was
in,
so angry with men due to the issues I had with men that I literally stopped dating men. For 10 years, I stopped dating men. And that's the kind of anger I had and frustration I had. And it helped me to go my own way.
Right.
Because it brought me to a sense of what I did wrong.
Yeah, those men are hurt. I'm telling y'all. I mean, like, I appreciate the men talking to us. I really do appreciate that, because a lot of men won't, and a lot didn't. We reached out. A lot of them didn't. They didn't know that no woman needs to be. You know, no. We've had a guy in our comments before say, you know, a woman's opinion means nothing. Why are you on my channel?
Right.
Why are you watching us?
I think that's another thing.
know,
It's like, if you
problem?
don't like women or you don't feel like women are valuable, then why are you watching us?
I can tell you why you're watching us. You guys are gonna, whoever's thinking like this is gonna really hate this answer. The reason why you're watching us and other women, not just us, is because you still need women in your life.
In some way.
You know why? Because you're a human being and you're a man. And men like to hear women speak and look at women and all that stuff. You know, so it's not just us. It's just that you guys...
Now, I'm sure that most of the content, most of these men listen, are women.
Women, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not just saying us. I'm just saying in general. When they go through YouTube, I bet it's mostly women they're watching. You know, and look, women who talk the same way about men, they are always on Kevin Samuels' pages. They're all watching. You know why? Because on some level, you're not getting rid of them forever.
Right.
There is some part of you, because you're human. And we can take red pills and go into the Matrix or out of the Matrix, whatever it is, as much as we want, but we're all having a human experience. That's why we're all here. We're all want to experience love. We all want to experience not only love of with someone else, but of ourselves and of the world. And that's the whole point of the human experience, is to feel.
That's
and
what
if
I'm
you're
saying.
walking around not feeling, you're not human.
It's
you're
like
a robot, and you're going, look, I know what it looks like to see someone in their 60s who they just never ever trusted the opposite sex again, and they're sad. I've seen people go to their graves alone with this sort of I'm angry, frustrated,
You know,
attitude.
I think, you know, there was somebody's comment, because Kevin Samuels, you know, we get comments about Kevin Samuels still. You know, someone said there's a point where the part where he said to that young lady that women like you die alone. Women took extreme like disrespect, but they really did not like him saying that because of his tone. But because we've seen it, women like that and men like that do die alone.
They do.
And we know a couple of people that are anti-woman, anti-man, and those people are alone because they've never got over their red pill moment or their feminist moment where they're just so extreme with it. They just, no one, you just repel the opposite sex. And I think that, and like I said before, is like under all of this, you guys, like if you even talk to these two men, we're just peeling it back a couple of layers. All I had to do was peel back a couple of layers, and all I saw was anger. And then after that anger, I was like, okay, you're hurt. Okay, your hurt is what it is, and then we need to get to that next level, which is that's where you need to be, that love part within yourself, not about loving women. I'm not talking about that right now. You have to get past the anger to get to the hurt, to get to the love. And if you don't get past that anger part, it's just a shield.
You're just
that's
stuck.
nothing.
You're in stuck behavior.
Yeah, that's just stuck. Anger is really nothing. It's a frivolous, empty feeling to have. It is, because when you're not really dealing with the real problem. And I told this man, I was like, you know, I feel that you're not dealing with a problem. That's what it is. You're not dealing with a problem, and it's looking really ugly. It's coming out in this way.
I don't get mad at men for, like I said, I don't get mad at men for hating women for a moment. I would be a hypocrite to say that, especially since I used to be mad at men. We all have those places where we get really hurt in life, or something devastating happens, and then we just feel like we're the only one it's happening to. And then we go find other people that it happened to. And then we feel like we're like mind, and then we get a little bit lost in the sauce a little bit, and then you know what? One day you come out of it. And there's nothing worse than seeing someone get faced with their own principles.
Yeah.
When men and women who sit in these groups all of a sudden meet somebody that they really like, and then they're faced with their principles. And then they have to keep up a charade to look cool for the group. But really inside, they want to change. And this is why you have to think for yourself. You know, look, The way people are acting right now is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't even really make any, it doesn't really make any sense.
It's also hard for them.
People are acting like nature doesn't exist.
It's also hard. Yeah, it's hard for them to keep it up too because of nature. Nature's just not allowing it to happen. And I'm like, you're going to, and like we said, even the groups within the groups, the feminist groups and the MGTOW and the red pill, they're imploding. Some of them are imploding on each other. Just some groups that are all mad at each other within the group and the reason why is because some of the men, like in the red pill community, some of the men are not bashing women. So, because there's some red pill men who don't believe in bashing women. They just doing something different. So some of the men are mad because you need to be
mad at each other.
Yeah, and then the men who are not bashing women are like, look, man, it's not about that.
There was this white guy talking about the red pill that I actually looked at on YouTube, and I guess he does workout things, but I guess his younger audience wanted him to talk about the red pill, so I watched it. And he was saying that people were calling him a simp, and that people were calling him, and he's red pill.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, and he's like, I think that a lot of these younger guys have got it all mixed up about what red pill is and what it isn't. And he was just like, they just think being mean to women it's like a red pill. He's like, and I'm telling you, that isn't not at all what it is. And so that's what I'm saying. I think there are some people who are kind of level-headed, and then I think there are people who just go way off the rails because they're angry at something, and they take something and they just run with it. And they don't realize that your life changes all the time. We all have highs and lows, and eventually you're going to come down from this.
Right, it's true. It's true. I know why people are acting the way they do, by the way. Yeah. Like we know what, because we've been through processes in life, and most people, have been through different emotions and feelings in their life. So I understand that they're just angry because they're hurt. So because that's why I keep bringing that up, because that's all that it is, and they don't want to hear it. And I'm like, you don't want to get down to your own problem, and I'm trying to tell you that you are going to die mad. You have to lift yourself up out of that, because it's going to be a humongous issue. And just they're so stuck to the group, so stuck to the red pill community, so stuck to the feminists, even the feminist women community, so stuck in that. I'm reading this book called Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'll put the link below if you want to see where to get it. But anyways, he said something. I wrote it in my notes because I love this because it made me think of what they were doing. Eckhart says you can't feel it because your mind is making too much noise. And when I read that in that book, I was like, this is exactly what's happening right now.
How many times did that happen to me?
All that
where
noise.
I've been nervous about something or frustrated about something, but my mind is just going 100 miles an hour, and I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
You just can't. Numb.
You're not feeling it. And I told one of the men, I was like, you're not feeling it because you're not allowing your mind to be free. Your mind is noisy right now. There's so much noise going on that you're not thinking level. You're thinking angry. Okay, so there's a time for anger, right? That's a natural feeling for people to have. I'm not saying don't have anger. That's not human. But then there's that next level. It needs to be quick. You got to get out of the anger. Or they're going to be bitter, and then you're going to be hateful, and you can even be enraged, and then you can become physically violent. So this is why the people usually stick with anger too long. I'm like, there's that next level that you have to pinpoint that hurt. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You need to pinpoint that hurt so you can get to that love. So they also believe that they are the men are the prize. So this was really interesting. So I'm like, okay, so you guys are the prize. And he's like, yeah. So why are you guys the prize? And they were like, because we make the money. We are the providers. We're the ones that have all the stuff that you're, to make your life what you're wanting to be. You're not the prize. And guess what? We're not the prize. The unit
is the prize.
The unit is the prize. Man and woman together, coming together, and
if you can find that,
oh my God,
really the gift.
Have you ever felt that feeling? Like I get goosebumps now just thinking about it, because have you ever felt that feeling where you meet somebody and they are like it's clicking? You know what I mean? Like they are on that this mental level, physically all that stuff. But I'm talking about like on a mental level, emotional level, spiritual level. You're like, wow, this person, I'm really clicking with this person, and you become the couple with that person. That's the prize. The prize is the couple. Yeah. It's not the person individually. It's the couple.
It's what you can do. It's what you can do together.
Yes.
That matters.
Please.
You know what I mean? And you'll never get to that type of beauty unless you know how to first of all, humble yourself a little bit. For men that are red pill, take a walk and understand, just before you start running your mouth, think about what women have to go through.
Just think about it.
Women, it's the same thing. Before you want to sit there and talk about the patriarchy, think about what it is men have to go through all the time. You know, Bill Burr is a self-proclaimed, I think he doesn't call himself red pill, but he talks like one.
Yeah.
But he was on Joe Rogan. And he said, you know, I've said so much things about women, but until my wife, he was a guy, I don't want to get married, then got married. He got married to his wife that he's now been with for a long time, and now they have 2 children. But when he had his first child, he told Joe, he's like, I say a lot of things about women, but God, I have a whole new respect for women after watching birth. And Joe said, oh God, it will humble you in a second as a man. And he's just like, right. And see, this is what happens when men have to see the other side of what it's like to be a woman. We both get to be parents, but one of us has to go
endure
through the pain.
Yeah. I guess we're talking to these men, I'm just thinking, we just invite you to maybe just look at the other side. You know what I mean? Or try to not. I know you're a man. You're not a woman, so you're not gonna be able to fully understand it. But there has to be something within you that's able to step outside yourself for just a second and say, you know, some of my ideas may be a little far, little off, a little extreme, right? Just maybe be a little extreme. And maybe think about things a little bit differently. I will always believe, though, and this will always stand, and Kara and I both agree with this, you have to be careful about being part of groups. Because when you go on to a group with people who all have one mindset, you know, the idea is for you to have just that mindset too. So if you veer off and your mind may be a little bit different, maybe a little bit more evolved, a lot of people, because they're banded to these groups, will not evolve. Because they don't want to lose the group.
So, you know, just think for yourself. That's how I feel about life. I feel like you got to be kind of, you get a brain for a reason. God gives us that. It gives us a brain so we can think for ourselves.
If the red pill thing is helping you and to get through some, or did you want to be around people who think like you for a time, then I'm not against that completely. But I think that you have to evolve in life. In life, you do have to evolve and move forward. And I say the same thing to feminists that hate men. You know, there has to be a time where you evolve from that ideology. There has to be a time where you're able to say, here's how I individually think as a woman. Right. Okay? You need a man. Yeah. And men, you need women. I know we're just 2 women saying this, and you guys are guys, and
I know we'll get comments.
We're ready for the comments, y'all.
I hate women. Women are just I don't care about your point of view and all of that. Okay,
we're ready.
That's fine. But I'm just saying that eventually one day in our lifespan we have highs and lows, and as soon as we get off our ego, sometimes we get back to balance. And when we get back to balance, you don't want to be there sitting by yourself wondering what happened to your life. So
I guess we'll leave you with this. There are good women out there.
Right. There are.
Just know that. Let us know. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And that's it.
That's it.
All right, you guys.
Bye.